What advice would we give then to law students embarking on the legal profession? What advice can we give them in terms of keeping up to date with changes? I guess perhaps my biggest piece of advice would be to keep an open mind. There are all sorts of interesting careers out there. The industry's changing a lot. You all need to be adaptable, probably above all else.
Yes.
What other piece of advice might we give?
Network. I think network. LinkedIn as a business networking tool is used by everybody. So get on LinkedIn, where you meet people on placements, where you meet people at drinks or at recruitment fairs. You connect to them, join their discussion groups, try and engage as much as you can, even if it's just as a lurker in those discussion groups and those forums, and learn what people are talking about in the industry that you want to join, just as a way of being able to answer those ridiculously difficult interview questions. Where do you think the firm should be in 5 years' time?
Yeah, it's all about relationships, and if you have relationships, you're personable, they're the people who are going to do well in a career, I think, forgetting anything else. I built a network predominantly on Twitter, actually, and that's how I got connected with Thomson Reuters for the first time, and that was through 3 introductions from my first introduction when I was in San Francisco, and that was a very senior person at Thomson Reuters. So it's amazing. It's just the openness, your first point is absolutely right, and the openness to network and meet people and go for coffee and have interesting stuff to talk about. And there is a kind of, which is a bit of there is a thing where you're younger, you should know technology, but like if there are opportunities like that for you to educate and change, I think the biggest innovation at a law firm is a cultural innovation rather than a technology one, because actually the tech is there. And if you can help partners who are really open to it as well and connect them up, I think that would be a really good career progression piece, because you're well placed to do that potentially. Play those stereotypes to your advantage.
I think also being prepared to reinvent yourself and not take the view, I've left law school, I've got my training contract, I'm going to be in this law firm, and after so many years I'll make partner and whatever. That type of career progression is probably a thing of the past. You are going to be jumping around, you're going to be seeing new opportunities, you're going to be seeing the market change. To be prepared to jump and follow new exciting opportunities, rather than just think, that's it, I'm here, got my feet under the desk, that's me done till retirement. That's not the way of the world anymore. The firm you're in may not be there in 5 years' time, even if it's a large firm. But be prepared to reinvent yourself and keep moving on.
I find it actually, on that point, really interesting. Some of the people I speak to who are at the associate level, they're 30, I think they would be really embracing this stuff that we do, the technology stuff, and they say to me, oh Jimmy, you don't get it, that's the way it is. And that's kind of that, I think the openness is really important, because you can be whatever, some firms, I don't know how it happens, but you seem to maybe go in open, but then become like, this is the way it is, and channel down that route, but it really isn't like that, and it isn't a futurist, you've got a long time ahead of you if you want to have a career in the space, and if you're being told that that's the way it is, I'd really question those motives.
I think, that was probably the point I was making about the newcomers seeing things afresh, because you do get quite embedded in an organisation and its systems and processes, and actually, it is valuable to have another pair of eyes looking at.
There are some incredibly innovative, forward-thinking 30-year-old senior associates that don't have time to do anything with their ideas, because they have to bill more hours in a working week than they should work in a week. So they don't have time to follow through on it. So it's really hard. It's another barrier to innovation and change, is you need to have time and space to do that.
And that's there needs to be again, isn't it? The firm making the space. And,
It's all culture and people and change, but it's the culture and people thing that makes law firms unique in their way of operating. And yes, you can have all this wonderful technology there, but if you've got the wrong culture and the wrong people, it's never going to be realised.
Technology will never drive change, it just enables it. It's something, it's there, it's been there to use for many, many years. It's getting better because technologists are making it better, but it will only change your law firm or your career if you choose to enable it to do so.
Well, that brings us to the end of the discussion. I hope you found that interesting. We've scampered through the changes that are impacting on law firms and perhaps where those changes are coming from. how client expectations have increased, or clients have become more demanding, about how that's led to the commoditisation of certain elements of the legal service at one end of the market, and how other law firms are using technology to deliver services in a different way by reducing waste essentially in the system and inefficient processes, and freeing lawyers up to do what they really want to do, which is to add the value. We've also talked a bit about where we see the opportunities for lawyers entering the profession, and hope you're excited by those opportunities. And we've also discussed a bit about skills and what we think new lawyers should perhaps be focusing on when they join their firm. So thank you very much for watching. That brings us to the end.